What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rope. So let's talk about Bumlatito for a minute because I watched all the fights this weekend and I did enjoy them. The three fights that took place on HBO, they were entertaining fights. I especially like Inui. I think that he's a student of the game. I think that he's something special, and I can see potential in him, man. You know, that's a guy that you can look at early and say he's got some fucking skills. You know, so I'll give him his credit. Hopefully, HBO doesn't try to shove him down our throats and make it annoying and try to shove him ahead of line in front of everybody else on the pound for pound list because we know what HBO does already. You know, I don't think that they need to do that with Inui. I think that his skills will speak for themselves and people will gravitate to his fights to watch him fight. I believe that that'll happen as long as they keep him in front of people, in front of the American audience. I think that he'll do very, very well. But I just have a feeling, man, that they're going to start placing him above more deserved people on the pound for pound list. It's just their history. It's just what HBO does. Okay, but I'm not going to be fooled for that. By that, I'm going to enjoy Inui, man. I've always wanted to see people from like China and Japan do good in boxing because historically they just really haven't on the American scene anyway. I'm not talking about, you know, the fights that take place on their homelands, but in America they haven't really been, you know, big stars and they haven't really had much success against top fighters from the States. So I want to see a fighter come from different areas to be able to do this, and then they can inspire people from their countries to become boxers as well. And we can have other rivalries, you know what I mean? Like Mexican versus Japan, black versus Chinese, whatever. Like we need more of those type of rivalries. So I'm all for them promoting Inui. I just don't want to see them shove him way ahead of everybody else so soon. The guy has, what, 13 fights or something like that. He's still very, very young in his career. There's plenty of time. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with him. But Bumlatito, okay? Now, do you guys remember this? You remember after the first fight with Gonzales, how certain people from the demographic, because that's a word that I'm going to be using from now on because it's a word that's been thrown around YouTube for a while, and we know what it means, but I'm going to throw it back at you guys and say, you know, the demographic after that fight, they came on here and they had all these fucking conspiracy theories, man. All these excuses. They said it was the most disgusting robbery that they had ever seen. And you know, Al Heyman was in the building. This is true. This is what somebody really actually said, that Al Heyman was there and that he was spotted talking to judges or some shit like that, which I don't believe. But he paid the judges off or influenced the judges so that Bumlatito couldn't beat Floyd Mayweather's 49-0 at that time. I mean, all of these things were being said. Okay. Now my question to the demographic is, what the fuck happened? What happened to your bum? He went out there, he got knocked out in 4 fucking rounds by a guy who you said got a gift decision, okay? That's not the way I expect a pound for pound #1 or even a top 5 to look in a rematch that he supposedly won the first fight in. That's not how you're supposed to look, okay? And we've been telling you for a while that Bumlatito was not a pound for pound fighter, not #1, not even #5, not even #10, okay, with the way that he fights. Looking at his style is shit, okay? Now, he was able to beat the guys that were put in front of him with that style, so I can't take that from him, okay? Name me 10 of them, you know what I mean? Name me 10 of the guys that he beat off the top of your head without cheating, going to box rec or any of that, okay? Nobody knows. Nobody cares, man. Casual fans do not know who Chocolatito is, okay? They may repeat some shit that they heard on HBO. Yeah, isn't that guy #1 or something like? They may repeat some shit like that, but they have no idea. They couldn't name a single opponent from that guy, and they don't even really know who he is. You know what I'm saying? But they had this guy #1 pound for pound, and he can't even pick himself up off of a loss. I mean, this is what champions do. We've seen other fighters lose fights, come back, and win the rematch, or have close fights that are controversial, and they come back and they win the rematches conventionally. That's what pound for pound fighters do. That's what champions do. Okay, this guy looked like a fucking wreck going into the damn ring, and this is the excuse that HBO tried to use of why he was getting his ass whipped, in the ring by Gonzales. But that's not a good excuse. Rungvisai is the reason for that. He was the reason for that doubt that Chocolatito had going into the ring, which leads me to believe that he really does think that he lost that first fight. He's supposed to be angry. He's supposed to go out here and show like, hey, man, you know, what you thought you saw wasn't what you saw. I'm really the better man. But he couldn't do that, man. And to be honest with you, man, I think he's finished, man. I think he is. Unless he moves back down in weight or something like that, he's going to be done, because even the guy in Nui, even he would have beat the shit out of him that night and knocked him out. That's what I believe. You know, Quadras would have fucked around and beat him. Again, because I thought he beat him the first time. This is the guy that you guys fucking held up as #1 pound for pound over more accomplished fucking fighters. Just because HBO said so. And then when we came on here and told you, like, look, this guy is not #1 pound for pound. He's an exciting fighter to watch. But that doesn't mean he's #1 pound for pound, because, for one, the dude doesn't have any defense, man. Okay, you cannot be #1 pound for pound with shitty defense like Chocolatito. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, defense is important. This is why it is a criteria in scoring a damn round. It plays a big role in boxing, and Bumlatito does not have it, man. He doesn't use it. He takes punches to get his punches off. Okay? He does not have the best style that I've ever seen, nothing close to it. I mean, I could make a better argument, even though this guy is not pound for pound #1 either, but I can make a better argument just based off of the skill set for Lomachenko than fucking Bumlatito. I can look at Inui and say this guy has more skills. Just using my eyes, I can see he has more skills than Bumlatito. I never understood why he had so much hype behind him, man. The dude was never good to me, man. He was never that good. I mean, what really separates Bumlatito from a fighter like Leo Santa Cruz? You know, another guy who'll take punches to get his punches off and is in wars and stuff like that. What makes Chocolatito any different than that? Because he beat a lot of fucking no-name bums? Is that why? You know, I never understood it, man. So another one bites the dust, man. You know, another one of these overhyped fighters gone. You know, and I have a really, really strong feeling that Gennady Golovkin is next, man. There's no way he's beating Canelo Alvarez. I don't care what anybody says. If he proves me wrong, oh well. But, you know, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I mean, every single fighter that the demographic has hyped up has been knocked off. All of them. Almost all of them. We'll see what happens with Golovkin this weekend, or next weekend, or is it this weekend? I think it's this weekend. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with him, but it just seems like every guy that they overhype, and when we try to tell them, hey, look, that guy ain't really as good as what they're saying he is, then we become racist and haters and all these other names and shit, black tards. And then their guy that they're so behind goes in there and he gets his ass knocked out or beaten handily, man. I mean, this is a pattern. Aren't you guys getting tired of this already? I know some of you are. I've seen channels shut down, and the homeless dude, you know, he shut his channel down after the Sergey Kovalev fight with Ward after he got beat up. You know, you guys are going to continue to take these L's, man. You know, it's obvious that us here in the LDBC, we know what we're talking about. Okay, because we've been right damn near every fucking time, and you guys have been wrong every time. All right? The only time you guys have been right is probably Lomachenko versus Nicholas Walters. That's the only W you guys have gotten, man. Really, that I can think of, man, off the top of my head. You guys stay fucking losing over there in that demographic, man. Are you guys tired of it yet? Okay? I don't really have any problem with Bumlatito other than the fact that he was being shoved to the #1 spot ahead of Andre Ward and other more deserving fighters. Like, what made Roman Gonzales better than Manny Pacquiao even? You know, fighters like that. He wasn't even better than him, man. Not stylistically. He had a shitty style, man. So, that hype train is over. You know, hey, you guys are just going to continue to lose, man. You guys need to start listening to us, man, because we know what we're talking about. We come from a place of logic when we talk. Everything ain't always about race with us like you guys claim. We just know good fighters when we see them, and we get behind them, and we support them. You know, nobody really has a problem with Lomachenko. We all say that he's a great fighter. He just doesn't deserve to be at the number one spot with 10 fights. But that's pretty much the only criticism that Lomachenko gets. You know what I mean? But Bumlatito, on the other hand, man, the dude's style is trash. He never deserved to be number one pound for pound. It was just fucking ridiculous. I didn't understand it. And that shit is all over now.